Okay students, this is the next tutorial, the final one for the advanced set of tutorials that I placed up on Google Classroom. As you can see, this is significantly much more difficult than the previous models. I'm hoping though that the way that we tackled this model or this part will give you some slight reassurance as to how you would attempt to make this model. Again, there's more than one way to model this. I'm simply going to model it from this side here. I could use the mirror tool and mirror feature because we've got a line of symmetry here. We've also got a line of symmetry here. I'm simply going to sketch the rectangular feature first, and then from there I'm going to make these cylindrical parts come out. So I'm hoping that that is detailed enough for you in terms of description. Let's get started with making it. So I'm going to focus on this rectangle first. I've got 36 and then 40 high, and again I'm also going to make this through hole at the same time to save time and make our modeling much more efficient. So 36 by 40. Let's try that. Let's create a new document, tutorial 03. So while that's loading, I'm going to sketch on this right plane here. Click on that. I'm going to click our center point rectangle. I'm going to click. We've got 36 and 40, so 36 on the bottom, 40 going high, and then before we extrude that all the way down, I'm going to make note we've got a 20 diameter circle. Because we've made our rectangle in the center, it's very easy to just click on the center point. It's 20mm diameter. We are now going to click on the green tick, and we're going to go to the extrude tool. Again, it should just do the section without the inner circle. Now we can see from this that we've got a 76 diameter, length or depth to this rectangle. Now again, I don't just want to show you simply just typing in 76 and then having that extrude. What I'd like to do is just show you another feature, which is I'm hoping that we can actually perform in this. So from the drop down menu, I'm going to click symmetric. What that does is it actually extrudes it from both ends, and if I use the arrow tool, as I pull that across, it extrudes it on both ends. Now you might be wondering, well, why is this quite useful for us to use? Because this part is highly symmetrical, we've got symmetry going in this, a line of symmetry here, and a line of symmetry there. I don't want to create this going out further because I want to take advantage of the fact that we've got this plane that sits in the center and then another plane which sits in the center. This is simply me just trying to think a few steps ahead, and I'm hoping what you can take from this is the process of sitting down and actually just planning out how you would model your part in your head before you attempt it. So we've got that central section here. I'm now going to start sketching on this face, and we need to make this slightly complex shape. Now it does look quite hard, however, using the skills that I've already taught you, so I click on this face, click on that front face, we know that we have a central diameter of 26, and then we've got this other circle which is, cut out, but we're going to draw it because it tells us the diameter, 52 diameter of that outer circle. So let's start with that. Now we know it's in the center. It shows us that it's sitting in the center. So yeah, let's go for that. So circle, click on that center, 56 diameter. Now it is larger than the piece, and we knew that. So by now you should know that we should select the trim tool. But before we do that, it will get rid of all of it. We need to project some geometry from the other shape, that edge. So we're going to select our project tool, click that edge, click that edge. Now when we trim, we'll be left with just the section that we want. Click on the green tick, we click on the extrude, we've now just got the section that we want. That needs to come out by 76. Now, sorry, the width here is 76. We now need to take away 36, which leaves us with 40, and then since that's from that end to the other, it's 40 divided by 2, so 20. So that's going to extrude out by 20 millimeters. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, hang on, it's not a very efficient way of modeling. We've still got some additional features to include. Yes, we do. We need to get rid of this section, and we also need to get rid of this hole. Okay? Now, there's nothing here which mentions that this is a through hole. We can't see where it ends. It's very difficult to gauge if it goes all the way through. I'm simply going to assume it goes all the way through, even though it doesn't state it's a through hole. It doesn't give us enough features in terms of where that ends. So that is a circle of 26mm diameter. I want you to get into the habit of going in to your parts tree, going back, drawing some additional circles. No, wait, hang on. It doesn't state it's a through hole. So what I'm going to assume is it just goes and it reaches this face here. So that's why we can use this method, 26mm diameter. Click on tick. That's what we're looking for, okay? Now we can go in and sketch on this plane and remove this rectangular cutout, which we know is 16mm high and goes in by 12mm. So a rectangular section. We're now going to click on a new sketch. We can't edit the existing sketch because this has a different depth. I'm going to click on front. We want a rectangle. We are not really too fussed with the width of it. We just want the height, which is 16. So the width could be anything. We'll leave it at 67, and the height is going to be 16, as you can see there. Now, we only need to make sure that the width is large enough that it extends past this circular feature here. That then allows us to start projecting some features, which allows us to then trim any geometry we simply do not want to remain. So by doing this, all we've got left is this section here and this section here. Click on the green tick, click on the extrude tool, remove, click on this, and we know it needs to move in by 12mm. 12. And we're going to click on the green tick. Now that's great. As you can see, we've got half of it. But what I tend to do is I get one side right, knowing that I've modelled it with a line of symmetry. I now need to take advantage of the fact that I've modelled it in a particular way. I'm now going to mirror this feature along that plane of symmetry. Remember from the previous tutorial, I select my mirror tool, select a feature. I need to select quite a few features, and what I can do is in my parts tree I can select my extrude 2 and extrude 3. Now I click on my mirror plane, I select my front plane, which acts as a line of symmetry, and it always gives us a preview so you can have a look at that. I'm happy with that. Click on the green tick. We've now got our part made. So well done. You've now successfully modelled a fairly complex shape.